everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be doing the anti-boyfriend tag. So before we get into anything that has to do with this, I'm not making this to hate on the male gender or whatever. I'm not doing this to hurt people who have boyfriends. I'm doing this because I thought it was fun and it was a tag that I saw that I actually wanted to do because I never want to do tags. Just because I don't like to do a lot of things that like everybody else does. So I found this one and I was like, wow, this actually really relates to my life. So it's just a bunch of questions. It's not what you think it is. It's not me hating on guys. It's just a couple questions about like guys and just like what you look for in a guy, all that kind of stuff. So I just thought it was fun and I would do it. All of you guys are tagged. If any of you guys want to do it, go ahead and do it. I'll leave the questions down below as well. So question number 1. What is the most important quality you look for? So for me, I think the most important quality that I look for is same belief system. So for me, I mean, there's a couple of main qualities. I'm going to talk about all of them, but for me, probably the number one thing is just that they have the same belief system as I do. Just because I feel like a relationship is built on things that you need to do together, you know, like making decisions together and all those kinds of things. So I feel like if you don't have the same starting out belief system, it's very hard to agree on a lot of things. Just my personal opinion. So, you know, just somebody who's a Christian who believes the same things I do about politics, who believes the same things I do about like, you know, how other people should be treated, all those kinds of things I feel like are just starting points for a good relationship. So probably my main quality. Another one that I'm super big on is like honesty. Not necessarily just in the sense of like lying to me if you're somewhere else, but just like be honest with me when there's something that you don't want to do or something that you don't like or something. Just be honest and tell me, and that'll definitely set a good tone for the relationship, because if you're not saying things, people just don't know. So be honest and agree with my beliefs. Number 2, what quality is a turn off? Number 1 is definitely being like a child. Not like, obviously a child, I wouldn't date children, but in the sense of maturity level, just that you can't analyze that there are people outside of yourself. Like there are so many guys I know who just like can't analyze the fact that there are other countries in turmoil, that there are other people that have it a lot worse than we do. Like guys that are just kind of like stuck in their own mindset. Like I can't deal with that, especially just guys who are like just medieval with ideas too, who just like are like, no, women can't do anything besides cooking and cleaning, girls can't hold jobs, blah blah. So things like that, I'm just like, I can't deal with you, I cannot. So I mean, maturity is definitely high up on the list there, because I mean, you have to be able to just understand where I'm coming from, and you know, that takes a certain level of maturity. So and you know, we all have moments where like childish, like if you want to go to Disney someday and act childish, I completely understand. Like that is me when I go to Disney. But you know, when it comes to making hard decisions, just like acting childish and doing all these things, like sometimes you have to be serious, you know, not all the time, but you know, sometimes there comes a moment when you gotta be like, all right, this is it, I gotta be serious. All right, so number 3, what physical feature do you notice first? Notice wise, I either notice height, usually just because I'm about like 5'5", so most of the guys that I'm around daily aren't like 5'5", they're mostly pretty tall. So usually like height, just because of when I look at somebody in their face, I either have to like look up, so I'm just usually height. Sometimes like usually second thing I'll notice is like eyes, just because I like to look people in the eyes when I'm talking to them. So if I'm looking up and looking at your eyes, then those are the first 2 things I notice. 4, describe your dream date. As far as like a dream date, I don't necessarily have like a quote-unquote dream date. I have a great first date though. I think a great first date would be like Dave & Buster's. I think if you went to dinner, like you could go to dinner at Dave & Buster's, although at Dave & Buster's is really expensive, so I mean that's kind of dumb, but like go to dinner somewhere and then go to Dave & Buster's, because I feel like that way you could set the tone being like, this is a fun date, but it's not like super serious. And if you go to a movie, you can't talk, and then it's like awkward. As far as dream date, I'm not one of those girls who's like beach walk, horse riding, I don't really care. I think like being with the person and doing something fun. I mean, obviously going to Disney, I definitely love going to Disney. I mean, I live in Orlando and I still love Disney, so probably another good one would be Disney. But I mean, as far as like other things, I just like simple things. I'm not like somebody who thinks all these complex ideas. All right, number 5. Who would your celeb boyfriend be? Oh, that is a good question. Probably, I have like multiples. Like my sister and I did a Hot Guy March Madness pool thing, which was for a joke. I wasn't trying to objectify anybody, but Prince Harry won mine. And And I just think Prince Harry is like the epitome of just like, not just because he's a prince, just because like I love Prince Harry. But yeah, so probably Prince Harry, but I also, on the other end of that spectrum, I know he's like 30, I'm not saying anything, but also Brooklyn Beckham is obviously gorgeous, so I mean, either of those guys would hit me up. That's totally realistic. Number 6, what is a relationship deal breaker? Deal breaker. Like the turnoffs I said before and the things that I like. A deal breaker, I mean, somebody who, I mean, I think definitely the thing about beliefs, and that's just a personal preference I have. I'm not discriminating against other people, but that's probably a pretty big like deal breaker for me. Like just because that's a big part of who I am. Another thing is like lack of support. If you can't support the things that I'm doing, then that's a big deal, because like, you know, it's a good thing that I do things like YouTube, because it's a good way to base off like how people are gonna treat me, because some guys are like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, and then I know to eliminate them, because like if you really care about somebody and you want to be in a relationship with them, you should just be okay with the like something that makes them happy. I mean, not everything, like you shouldn't be okay if like your significant other is doing something illegal, but I mean just something like as simple as YouTube, like the fact that you think that's so stupid, if you can't even understand that I like something, then like that's kind of a deal breaker. So just the lack of support, lack of honesty, lack of loyalty, like kind of just all those kinds of things mixed into one. I'm not somebody who's like nitpicky about things, who's like that one event's gonna just a deal breaker. So I mean, a lot of other things I can work around, just the whole like honesty, loyalty, belief system, that's kind of just like I can't really work around that. Number 7, what's a relationship deal maker? Who is good with kids, somebody who's not like, who doesn't pressure you, somebody who just like wants to, who understands that like relationships have to be like a good balance. Also somebody who can like balance me out. There are things about myself that I'm like, woo, all of the time, and so it'd be nice to have somebody who's like kind of like, all right, that's enough, we need to like balance it out now. So I think something like that is definitely a deal maker. Somebody who's good with kids, but other than that I don't really have too many other ones where I'm like, that is a deal maker. I don't have any physical attributes, because for me I've liked so many different kinds of guys, like I don't have an ideal type of guy. What are your eye color and hair color preferences? Like I said, don't really have a huge preference. I know there's some people, I mean, I've liked guys who have blonde hair, I've liked guys who have brown hair, I've liked guys who have red hair. Like there's really not a preference that I have. It's kind of just like, if I like you and I care about you, then that's kind of how it works. And he buys you a gift, what would it be? I'm really weird about gift things in relationships, because I feel really weird. Just like I don't like accepting a bunch of gifts. Like I feel like a relationship should be gift enough. I don't feel like there should be like anybody who's like ultimately giving a bunch of gifts. But I mean, food is always a good option. I will always take chocolate. Yeah, and I don't really, there's not really anything that I'm like, wow, he should give this to me. I mean, I don't ever expect any gifts in a relationship or anybody to pay for anything ever. But as far as that, like I said, chocolate. I don't really have anything else. I guess if he knows my music type, like if he knows my music type, like CDs and things like that. Oh, a mixtape. That is what I've always wanted. I've wanted a guy to make me like a mix CD of all of his favorite songs. That is the ultimate gift. Like seriously, the ultimate, if you want to win over my heart, the ultimate gift. Number 10, would you say you have a type? If so, what? I already answered this question. No. Like I said, I like guys, all different types of guys. I don't really discriminate or have a preference. I'm not trying to sound like I need a boyfriend, everyone come, no. I'm just saying like I don't have a type of guy where I'm like, he needs to be 6 foot, have abs, have brown hair. I don't really care. Like as long as you are a good person and you like have the thing that I'm looking for, like I said, belief system, and just an honest, loyal person who's kind and like things like that, that's what really gets me with a person. So I mean, like I said, just be yourself and don't like worry about physical attributes and losing weight or gaining muscle or any of that kind of stuff. I've dated guys who were tall, I've dated guys who were short. I didn't want this to turn into like a Cameron and Nash video and me be like, you have to have freckles, you have to play volleyball, you better have brown hair, you gotta be really skinny. No. So those were just a couple of things that I just wanted to say, and that was the anti-boyfriend tag. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you back here later.